Once upon a time, the United States was the undisputed king of shipbuilding. During World War II, America built over 4,600 warships and 5,500 merchant vessels in just a few years. We outproduced Japan, Germany, and every other country on Earth. But today, we can barely build 6 warships a year. Meanwhile, China is cranking out 1,000 ships every single year. What happened? How did we go from dominating the seas to struggling to keep up? This is the story of how U.S. shipbuilding collapsed and why it matters more than ever. Let's dive in. Let's rewind. In the 1940s, the U.S. had over 50 major shipyards working around the clock. The Kaiser shipyards built a Liberty ship in just 4 days. Think about that. A fully operational cargo ship built in less than a week. At its peak, America was producing a new warship every 2 weeks. Fast forward to today, we have just 7 shipyards capable of building large warships, and instead of weeks, it now takes years to finish a single ship. So what changed? Let's break it down. The fall of American shipbuilding didn't happen overnight. It happened because of 4 major reasons: the decline of the U.S. commercial shipbuilding industry, the collapse of the American manufacturing sector, bad government policies and military mismanagement, China's rise as the world's shipbuilding superpower. Let's start with the first one. Reason number 1, the decline of U.S. commercial shipbuilding. In the 1970s, the U.S. was still one of the top shipbuilding nations. But something changed. American labor became more expensive. Asian countries, especially Japan and South Korea, began producing ships faster and cheaper. U.S. companies couldn't compete, and one by one, American shipyards shut down. By the 1990s, almost all U.S. commercial shipbuilding was gone. And when commercial shipbuilding dies, military shipbuilding follows, which leads us to reason number 2, the collapse of American manufacturing. For decades, the U.S. was the factory of the world. We built cars, steel, electronics, ships. But over time, manufacturing moved overseas. Factories shut down, supply chains crumbled, and the skilled workers who once built America's ships, they disappeared. Today, the U.S. can't mass-produce warships because we don't have the infrastructure or the workforce. But that's not the only reason we fell behind. Reason number 3, bad government policies and military mismanagement. For decades, the U.S. Navy has wasted billions on failed ship programs. The littoral combat ship, overpriced, underpowered, a disaster. The Zumwalt-class destroyer, originally planned for 32 ships, only 3 were ever built. Meanwhile, basic warships take forever to build. The new Ford-class aircraft carrier, delayed, over budget. The Columbia-class submarines, falling behind schedule. Why? Because of bad planning, endless bureaucracy, and political infighting. And while we argue over ship contracts, China is building ships non-stop, which brings us to the final reason. Reason number 4, China's rise as the world's shipbuilding superpower. China controls over 40% of the global shipbuilding industry. They have massive state-funded shipyards, building warships at record speed. And it's not just warships. China also dominates commercial shipbuilding. The US, we build about 5 commercial ships per year. China, over 1,000. They have one shipyard that produces more ships than the entire US combined. This isn't just an economic problem. This is a national security crisis. If the US can't build ships, we can't project power. We can't protect trade routes. We can't resupply our military in a global war. Think about it. During World War II, the U.S. built thousands of transport ships to move troops and supplies. Today, we have only 85 merchant ships. That's it. If a major war broke out, we wouldn't be able to sustain a long conflict. China knows this, and they're using their shipbuilding dominance to expand their global influence. They control ports, trade routes, supply chains. If we don't act fast, America could lose its status as the world's leading naval power. So what can we do? How can the U.S. revive its shipbuilding industry? Here's the plan. Invest in modern shipyards. The U.S. needs new, high-tech shipyards to compete with China. Expand the workforce. We need to train more engineers, welders, and shipbuilders. Fix military procurement. The Navy must stop wasting money on failed projects. Rebuild commercial shipbuilding. We can't rely on foreign countries for our merchant fleet. Strengthen alliances. Work with Japan, South Korea, and allies to counter China's shipbuilding power. This isn't just about making more ships. It's about protecting America's future. We've fallen behind, but we can still turn this around. The question is, will America rebuild its shipbuilding power, or will we let China take the lead for good? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives on global power and military strategy, hit that subscribe button. This is Econ Atlas, and we'll see you next time.